like our competitors make a living on. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER for all your drain cleaning needs.
From the Florida Central Credit Union Free Checking Traffic Center.
In Newport Richie still have a serious accident being investigated, blocking both directions of Madison Street near School Road. Use Grand Boulevard instead. Have a lot of slow traffic on US 41 in both directions in the construction zone near Madison Avenue. And we're still a bit sluggish on the eastbound Courtney Campbell Causeway getting in toward the Big Bridge. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Newark Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Pros in the know. Start with Lowe's and save
Lincoln Lending Group, Ryan Pelky from TampaBay Plumbers, and Doug Ford with Suncoast Roofing Solutions. These three business owners will teach you how to work to live it up, not live to work. Now sit back, grab a cold one if you have one, and get ready for some serious business talk with three hilariously serious business owners. Now, your host of the Business Happy Hour, Frank Coto.
Good morning, Tampa Bay, and good morning, friends. My name is Frank Coto, and I am the host of the Business Happy Hour here in studio with my great co-hosts, Ryan Pelky of Tampa Bay Plumbers and Doug Ford of Suncoast Roofing Solutions. How are you boys doing this morning?
Outstanding.
Doing good, Doug?
Everything's good.
That was Ryan, and that was Doug there. So, as a host of the Business Happy Hour, I'm here to tell you guys that we are three successful business owners, and we are taking time out of our busy schedules every single Wednesday at 11 a.m. to come to you guys live. That's right, coming to you live to share our stories as well as our experiences in business and entrepreneurship. This is the #1 show in Tampa Bay about business and entrepreneurship. Most shows, we're going to introduce you guys to a self-made millionaire, a self-made businessman. Maybe one day we'll have a billionaire on here. They're going to give you guys some advice, some personal experiences. We're going to talk to you about their trials and tribulations, their failures, their successes. Every show, in the last segment, we're also going to give you guys what's called the business tip of the week. In the fourth segment, we're going to come up with something that is important to us, something that we have had to deal with in our businesses. We're going to tell you our advice, so hopefully you don't make the same mistakes, or maybe you can follow the same success that we have had. Now, we want you guys, and we encourage you to become a part of the Business Happy Hour. You can do this a couple different ways. If you want to be on the show, if you want to be in the studio with us, or you want to be a call-in, feel free to email us to request this at bhhiheart@gmail.com. That's BHH for the Business Happy Hour, iheart@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to call into the show, you can call into today's show. You're welcome to. The phone number is 877-897-TALK. That's 877-897-TALK, and you can be on our show anytime up until about 11:50 today. We'll take calls from you guys. So this last weekend, I had a milestone in both my life and my business, which made me truly reflect all the way back from a perspective that I've never considered before. I turned 40 years old this last weekend. Doug and Ryan were there to celebrate it with me. Thank you, guys.
It was awesome. Great party.
Great time. Gary missed it because he had an emergency. It's okay, Gary. But this has made me reflect back in my life. Someone made a comment to me, and they said that I'm halfway through my life. And I said, really? Is that true? Is my American life expectancy just 80 years old these days?
Well, back in the day, used to say 40 was over the hill.
That's right. That's right. They were 40 was over the hill. I remember that with my parents. I went with my mom's birthday. I remember seeing that in the yard, actually. But it made me think, is the average age that a Caucasian man lives to these days 80 years old? I wasn't sure how to take the comment, so I just thought about it for a few minutes. If it's really the halfway point of my life, what have I accomplished? Am I a success? Am I ahead or behind of where I thought I would be 20 years ago? Have you ever thought about the assumptions that you made back in 1999? What were some of the things that you guys thought we'd have today? What did you think the world was going to be like? I know I used to read Popular Science. It was my favorite magazine. And I know for a fact that right now I'm supposed to have a flying car. Right now. I know it for a fact.
Hoverboard.
That's right. Hoverboard, flying car, guaranteed. It's supposed to happen, right? I also was told that as a college student around that time that marijuana was going to be legal across the whole United States. Nobody told me, though, that Donald Trump was going to be president. Never told that. So all these questions came to mind as I reflected back on the last 40 years of my life. Well, and sadly today, we don't have flying cars. However, we do have cars that drive for you. I luckily have one of those, so I guess I'm halfway there. Marijuana is definitely not federally legal, but it seems like it might be headed that way. And Donald Trump is our president. Who would have guessed 20 years ago? Now, I reflected back the last 20 years of my life more than anything, because the first 20, obviously, I was just a child and an adolescent. And I thought to myself that we've lived through some very interesting times. And I think that this world has a lot more in store for all of us. For me personally, I'm focusing on the second half of my life as a new beginning. I want to make changes both personally and professionally. I want to do things to get healthier. I want to spend more time with my family. And at the same time, I want to change the direction of my business. I came to this decision after doing an internal review of myself over the last 20 years as a professional. That's right, I reviewed myself. Today's show is going to focus on reviews and your online reputation. 20 years ago, there was no such thing as an online reputation like there is today. We had the Better Business Bureau, we had Consumer Reports magazine, but most of the time, that dealt with the negative of a company and not really the positive. Maybe you saw a car that got 3 or 4 stars and you decided you're going to buy it, but most of the time you're reading reviews to find out the negative. Today, we live in a completely different world. As a business owner, we've always been trained that your reputation is everything. But in this new online world, you no longer have a local reputation, as everyone, literally everyone in the world, can read about you and your company regardless if it's good or bad. And most of the time, that information can never be removed from the internet. So statistics show us that almost 90% of consumers read reviews before making a purchase. This means that more than ever before, your reputation is everything. And your reputation is online for everyone to comment on. So what happens if you get a negative review? Is that a bad thing? What happens if all of your reviews are perfect? Some might tell you that that in itself is a negative thing. During the show today, we're going to answer these questions. So stay tuned for a great business happy hour. And at the end of the show, I encourage you, our listeners, to give us a review. So without further ado.
Well done. Well done. Fantastic.
I like the internal audit.
It was an internal audit of myself. And it was all because one jackass, and you know who you are if you're listening, literally told me, you're halfway done with your life. And he says, what are you going to do with the other half? I said, holy crap, I probably need to think about the first half before I decide what I'm going to do with the second half. And I came to a lot of these decisions. I was really excited because, Ryan, we were going to have a guest on today. And I was going to ask Jeff that was coming on.
Jeff Greenacre? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a personal emergency, so he was unable to make it.
Right, so we're going to rebook Jeff. I know we announced him last week. Jeff Greenacre is the founder of Greenacre Properties, one of the largest property management companies in Florida, probably the southeast United States.
Yeah.
And Jeff's a little older than us, and I know Jeff comes from a little different generation. I actually know Jeff's son, who's our generation.
Who's running the company now.
Right, yeah. Ryan Greenacre. And, I was going to ask Jeff some of these questions. So I'm disappointed I can't ask him, so we're going to have him on another time because I wanted to get his perspective on where he has gone since he was our age moving forward. But today's show, it's going to be so exciting is we're going to be talking about all the different angles of reviews. People just think about a review as, you go and read, it says if the product works or not, it says if the company's any good or not, but there is just so much more to that. Reviews matter so much more now than they ever have, and I think it's simply because of this online thing.
Yeah, I think of all three of us, Ryan probably is the master at reviews, so anyone listening, definitely tune in because Ryan will have some great tips for people.
That's right. And please, guys, please call in. We really do encourage you to do that, especially about this. If you're a business owner, I want to hear from you guys. 877-897-TALK. 897-TALK. Just tell me you want to be on the show. But, guys, let's start with this question. I'm going to ask you two, why do reviews matter? What today? And Ryan, if you want to start with it, you like Doug was saying, you've focused on your online reputation for many, many years. You put a lot of effort into that. And I know you've made comments to me about, what you said, like, you're the number one on Google and you're the most reviewed. Matter of fact, when people mistake you for another company, what does Ryan always say? He says, well, just go look at the reviews because I have 40,000 of this and that guy has 6, So tell me, how important is that?
Well, I think it's important, first of all, for a business owner to identify where their clients are coming from. So, if it's Google, then you obviously want to focus on your Google reviews. If you get most of your business from Angie's List, then it's probably a good idea to focus on your Angie's List reviews because, you don't want to ask customers to give you multiple reviews from different review sources. So
let me stop you there for a second. So, and I actually have never thought about that. So you first focus on where the customers are coming from the online world you're talking about.
Exactly.
And then when you realize that they're coming from that direction, when you go back and you ask for reviews, you're trying to direct the reviews back to that source.
Right.
So what do you do if your business is strived upon, just basic referrals?
Then I would try to identify which review source is going to give you the most bang for your buck. So if you feel like you get more organic leads from Google, then you're going to want to steer your customers towards Google. If you're getting more from Angie's List or Yelp or Home Advisor now is one that's kind of popped up.
My biggest problem with Angie's List is that I feel like it's like because you as a contractor you don't pay for it, but people paid for it, and I don't know. It just seemed like the review system on that, even the system in general, they gear the people who pay the most for advertising get the most Angie's List.
Well, yeah, the Angie's List is basically has its own search engine, is what it really is. Contractors pay and service providers pay to be on a rotation. So when you go into the Angie's List platform and you search for a mortgage broker, it's going to show
only the Angie's List approved ones that are paying.
It's going to show 14 that rotate that pay for that geographical listing. So,
all right, well, let's stop there. When we get back from the break, I want to dig into something. As Ryan just brought up a topic I didn't even have written down, and that is, can you pay for reviews? And are certain websites maybe not giving you the whole picture because you're paying? Guys, next week we're going to have Colton Newborn on the show. Colton Newborn is one of the top sales reps for a company called Cutco Knives that I had experience with in college, and Colton's going to be on next week. So stay tuned to the Business Happy Hour. We're going to be back in just a minute. And don't forget, if you want to call in, the number is 877-897-TALK. You are listening to the Business Happy Hour on 1250 Live and 970 on Sunday mornings. We will be back in just a minute with Frank, Ryan, and Doug of the Business Happy Hour.
Hey, Tampa Bay, this is your friendly neighborhood Frank Coto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your home of the no-fee mortgage and the 4-minute application on 813mortgage.com. I have some really incredible news for you. Real estate investors of Tampa, listen up. We now have a no-income product with just 20% down and a 660 credit score. No income, no employment, investment loans. Buy as many homes as you want. Apply now, 813mortgage.com, your no-fee mortgage lender.
Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no-pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofingsolutions.com where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first.
Hello, it's Ryan Pelky with TampaBay Plumbers, and I want to tell you about our drain cleaning services. We always include a video inspection with our drain cleaning service, and that's because it's the most important part of the job. Imagine going to the doctor and only being treated for your symptoms. Proper diagnostic will save you time and money when it comes to plumbing or just about anything else. We are the straightforward company and never bait and switch like our competitors make a living on. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER for all your drain cleaning needs.
At AutoZone, helping you get more done is what we do best. Like with the AutoZone Rewards program. You'll earn a $20 reward every time you spend $20 or more 5 times. And right now, get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Synthetic or full synthetic high mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for $22.99 after a $7 AutoZone gift card by mail. Upgrade to a K&N filter for $3 more. Visit any of our 5,600 locations nationwide and let us do more for you. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. You check things all the time, like your email or social media. But Discover asks, what about checking something as important as your credit score? Well, Discover makes it quick and easy with their credit scorecard, which is free for everyone, even if you're not a customer. See your FICO credit score and other important credit information. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Our iHeartRadio Podcast Awards are coming, and the Ron Burgundy Podcast will debut soon on iHeartRadio. Celebrate with an exclusive invitation to our iHeartRadio Podcast Awards. Open the iHeartRadio app, search Ron Burgundy, and tap follow on his podcast, and you are automatically entered to win.
Sponsored locally by Online Trading Academy. Online Trading Academy Tampa Bay can teach you the skills necessary to reach your financial goals. For more information, go to tradingacademy.com. That's tradingacademy.com.
Hey, Bob, how's business? Is the new website helping?
Not good. I can't figure out how to get the website finished. How did you do it?
Easy. I called web.com. They built my website for free.
Wow, free? Really? Web.com?
Yep, and in just 7 days. Then they promoted it on all the search engines.
Like Google, Yahoo, and Bing?
Exactly. And web.com has helped grow my business so much, I had to bring on new staff.
Hey, if web.com did it for you, they're perfect for me.
Web.com can build your website for free in as little as 7 days. If after 30 days you're happy with your new website, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for just one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing. Call now, 1-800-533-9960. That's 1-800-533-9960. 1-800-533-9960. Or go to web.com/radio.
There is no upfront charge for building the website, after which the ongoing fee applies. Rights to the website are relinquished upon cancellation unless otherwise purchased.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. In case you missed the first segment, let you know who we are. My name is Frank Coto. I am the host of the Business Happy Hour and the owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813 Mortgage, going on 19 years in business here. Ryan Pelky and Doug Ford are my co-hosts. Ryan Pelky is the owner of TampaBay Plumbers. For how long now, Ryan?
15 years. I've been doing it at least since 2003.
My God.
Got my license.
And then Doug Ford, the owner of Suncoast Roofing Solutions. Doug, you've been in business almost 10 years now,
This
right?
is my 10-year reunion.
10-year reunion, man. So combined, these three business owners have, I got to do the quick math here, we have like 50 years almost of business experience we're bringing to you. So every Wednesday at 11 a.m., we come to you guys live here on 1250, and then this is replayed Sunday mornings on 970. The number one business show on the radio. We give you guys real life advice. Our jobs are actually not radio co-hosts, although we are so good at it. Our job is actually running three successful companies, and we are self-made. We started the companies on our own, and we have been through a lot, and we felt like we could give back to the community by doing this. You're not going to hear us advertising our companies. If you're listening to the commercials, you might hear them. Of course, we'd love for you to work with us. Lincoln Lending, 813 Mortgage, 813 Plumber, 888-888-ROOF. Those are our phone numbers. If you need us, we're always here for you. Say you heard us on the radio, and we're going to take good care of you guys. But that is what we're doing. We're coming every Wednesday to talk to you guys about business and give you some advice and have some guests on there. Matter of fact, speaking of guests, we had a walk-in guest here that I invited this weekend. It is Mr. Rick Tasseda of Rick Tasseda Photography. Rick was actually at my 40th birthday party, snapping pictures during the whole event, and I thank you very much for doing that, Rick.
Rick's going to be in studio snapping pictures, and he comes in and takes pictures of all of our guests. So don't forget, if you want to be a guest, just email us at bhhiheart@gmail.com, and if you want to call in, it's 877-897-TALK. So today's topic is about reviews, and before the break, Ryan was talking about reviews, and we got into something where Doug and I mentioned paid reviews. All right, there's these services like Angie's List that have come out recently, and even the Better Business Bureau. You got to pay to be on that. But there's a lot of misconception about Angie's List, and
I think the Better Business Bureau is a bigger hack than any of them personally.
Yeah, and I want to get into that too. But let's start with the Angie's List thing, because a lot of people don't realize you were starting to talk about Angie's List and how it works, and if it's truly you're paying for a review. Or what do you get?
You're not paying for the reviews. You're paying for exposure on the website. Just like the same thing, kind of like with Google. Google, you can pay to be on the top 3, sponsored ads, or you can pay to be on the right side. So depending on your bid amount, it's called pay-per-click, that positions you on the website. Well, you also show up organically on Google for free, depending on how well your website is written and stuff like that.
But I find out that like Angie's List, I used to pay a little bit, and I used to get a couple jobs here and there. And then also I stopped paying them, and I've not got anything from Angie's List. But Google, I mean, we get 4 or 5 leads a day from Google. Yeah, and I don't pay them a dime.
And that's the reason why I chose to put most of my review focus on Google. I think Google's undoubtedly the most powerful company in the world when it comes to search.
Have you Googled it?
I mean, it is.
Somebody Google check that.
It's. I think they have 40-something% of all online advertising dollars goes to Google.
Oh my Lord!
It's an incredibly successful company, and I mean, there's nowhere for it to go really. Besides just going to maintain its complete dominance.
So Ryan, I always thought that Angie's List, and wasn't there another one too? But I always thought
Home Advisor.
I always thought that my thing was, I thought you had to be special to be on Angie's List. I thought it's like, you had to stand out.
You do have to be good. You have, they try to get reputable businesses under their platform.
But what happens if I'm on Angie's List and I start getting negative reviews, but I keep paying them?
Then you'll eventually lose your listing. You won't meet their guidelines anymore.
Yeah, you have to have a minimum of 4 stars or something for a certain amount of time. But I do know that being on Angie's List, a lot of people nitpick on everything. It doesn't matter. You could literally call 30 minutes late, and they will give you a 3-star review because of that.
You do get held hostage a lot. A lot of times you have to give free services. If you make a mistake. But I mean, I think that goes for any client really. I mean, bottom line is if you're going to try to protect your online reputation, it's an investment. It's something you have to look at as an investment. You have to look at it like, okay, is it going to be worth this bad review being online, or am I going to go the extra mile here and to take care of this client so that way the bad review either doesn't ever exist or goes away. So just because you get a bad review doesn't mean you can't call that customer and make that bad review go away.
So no, that is a really good question. So if you do get a bad review, can that client take that review down?
Absolutely. Okay. On all platforms, they can remove it. It's their prerogative. They can also go in and modify it. They can add to the review. They can say, okay, after I spoke with so-and-so from the company, they did this for me, and now I feel this much better. So there can be a whole dialogue there.
Is Angie's List in the middle of that?
Sometimes.
Are they reaching out to you and saying, hey, you need to take care of this guy? And
if someone files like a complaint, then they have a department that is there to like kind of arbitrate that complaint.
Because I've actually contacted Angie's List because of bad review, because all my negative reviews have been prior to me even doing service with them. They've called me and we're so busy we can't get to them, so they complain. Yeah. And I get a 1-star review because I couldn't get to them in time.
Yeah, and that's the bad part about it. I mean, they do Angie's List customers, I have noticed, they will hold you hostage sometimes if you underperform at all.
So here's the thing. Both of you have experience at Angie's List. I don't. Many business owners out here listening don't. Here's the question. Do you recommend Angie's List? Let's start with Doug.
I think starting off, if you're a small company and you're trying to build your business, I think it's a great way to do it. If you're a fairly large company and you have a presence already, I don't think you need to waste your money.
Ryan?
I guess it's you have to look at it. We have our renewal coming up right now.
Mm-hmm. I have to make this decision. I
cut my ad spending with Angie's List last year. I cut it 65%.
Okay.
We're considering doing the same thing this year. I've continued to put more money into Google. I find that works much better for my company. Our Google reputation is the best. There is nobody in this area that compares to TampaBay Plumbers in that platform.
Right.
So people that hire us automatically have a confidence level that they can't get anywhere else, from any other source. So they don't feel like they have to, there's like this trust factor.
Now,
They know that they're going to get a good job, and they know that if anything did go wrong, we're going to make it right.
So I'm going to take that as a yes and a yes. Doug, more early business. Ryan, it sounds like you have to do it, at least to some degree. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about why do the consumers have this confidence in you, Ryan. And I have a feeling you're going to tell me because of the number of reviews that has something to do with it. So we're going to ask that question when we come back. You're listening to the Business Happy Hour. Don't forget, if you want to be part of the show, call 877-897-TALK. And next week, we're going to have Colton Newborn from Cutco Knives. He is the sharpest guy in town. We're going to be back in Business Happy Hour in just a minute here on 1250 live every Wednesday and 970 on Sunday mornings. And don't forget, you can call us 813-PLUMBER, 813-MORTGAGE, or 888-888-ROOF if you need any services. Business Happy Hour will be back in just a minute.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword cash to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's cash to 200-200.
Now, a 1250 WHNZ market update.
I'm Jessica Ettinger, CNBC. Stocks are higher on word that preliminary trade talks between the U.S. and China went well. The Dow is now up almost 0.5%, up 94 points. The Nasdaq is up 0.5%, up 42 points, and the S&P is up 7 points. Sears gets another chance to survive today and avoid a total liquidation. The chain's chairman, who has a plan to keep some stores open, has until 4 Eastern this afternoon to make a $120 million payment for a seat at the bidding table at Monday's auction. Fed meeting minutes from December come out this afternoon. Investors will be looking for any hints on the direction of interest rates. Constellation Brands shares sinking 8% right now. Wine sales were weak, and its $4 billion investment in cannabis company Canopy Growth, which is based in Canada, well, it may not pay off for a while. Jessica Ettinger, CNBC.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
Together, we can turn a stairwell into an ER at a moment's notice. Together, we can turn a rescue ship for refugees into a maternity ward. Together, we can vaccinate 710,000 people in just 11 days. Together, we are Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders goes where others don't to provide life-saving medical care. Learn more at doctorswithoutborders.org.
Marginal legal advice and fresh weekend radio. Handle on the Law, Sunday afternoons 2 to 5 on 1250 WHNZ.
There's slow traffic southbound on I-75 between Fowler and I-4. An accident blocks the entrance ramp from Florida Avenue to the eastbound Polk Parkway. And we still have a serious crash being investigated blocking Madison Street near School Road in Newport Richey. If you see traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's and save 5% on eligible purchases every day made with a Lowe's Business Credit Account. That's 5% savings in-store and online. Subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. See store for details. U.S. only.
Hi, I'm David Moss Jr. from Moss Family Chevrolet. At Moss Family Chevrolet, all new and pre-owned vehicles come with our exclusive Life Moss Care program, giving you lifetime oil changes, lifetime tire rotations, a lifetime warranty, and much, much more. Visit us today and experience the Moss difference.
From the Weather Center, Abrahamson and Uterwick. The Injury Lawyers. Please drive safely. Pinellas Hillsborough.
Your Tampa Bay area forecast. Partly cloudy and breezy. High 72. Clear and cold tonight. Low in the low 40s. Sunny and cool tomorrow. High 62. For news, weather, and traffic anytime, tune to News Radio 970 WFLA.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. If you missed the first and second segment here, just letting you know that Ryan, Doug, and I are three successful business owners that come together every Wednesday to talk about our experiences in business. We are the #1 business show on the radio. You can hear us live every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. I'm sorry, 11 o'clock, not 12. I'm thinking of what time I get off. 11 o'clock here on 1250, or you can listen again on 970 early on Sunday mornings. But if you want to be a part of the show, you can email us, bhhiheart@gmail.com, if you'd like to come and be a guest. If you'd like to call in and chime in on anything we're talking about, good or bad, call us at 877-897-TALK. That's 877-897-TALK. So this show has been all about reviews. We are three business owners, and reviews mean a lot to us. We have a collective 50 years experience in business, and we have been focusing on why are reviews important, what are the difference in the different types of reviews, and we're going to get into the number of reviews. So the last segment, Ryan was talking about Angie's List, and we came to a consensus of the three of us. Two of us use Angie's List, Ryan and Doug, and they both pretty much said, you know, it's something to do, something to use. Doug suggested in the beginning, if you're a new business, he feels like it's more important. Ryan still uses it, even though he's been around 15 years. He's been tapering it down a little bit.
I think Angie's List also caters to a lot of like repairs. You know, when you have plumbing, it's a small repair. Like with roofing, we had a lot of repairs. It never hardly led to a re-roof, but a lot of repairs.
Okay.
So smaller ticket items.
Ryan, would you agree?
Yeah, and I think in general, these lead generation services like Angie's List, Home Advisor, Thumbtack, there's a whole bunch of them now, are good for companies that are just getting started. You know, it's a great way to get your name out there.
So using a company for paid review type thing is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right, yeah, and again, you're not paying for reviews, you're paying for placement on the site, which you get reviews.
Right.
So you're not directly paying for the review.
Right. Now we did mention briefly before we go into the number of reviews here, the Better Business Bureau. I know my consensus of the Better Business Bureau is I almost feel like it's a scam.
Well, I think back in the day, the Better Business Bureau was very similar to like the mob. You know, you had to pay the mob to stay in business and to make people happy. So I think that the BBB kind of, you know, that's kind of the way they've been for so many years. You either make them happy or you don't.
And I feel like they had a more important place before the internet as well, because back in the day, you could call them up and you could say, "Hey, I need to know about this company."
No, you call them up when you had a problem, and they'd be the the mediator, the resolution for the issue.
Which, Ryan,
I think once they started doing the accredited business thing, that's when all credibility went down the drain. And if you no pun intended, but that's kind of the way. The way I thought about it, that's the way I've always thought about it. So in other words, they charge you, depending on the size of your company, how many employees you have is the metric that I saw the last time that I got a quote from them. So basically, if the more employees you have, the more it costs to become an accredited business.
Right.
And then once you're an accredited business, if someone posts a bad review on there, instead of it automatically becoming public immediately, an arbitrator steps in. You know, the company has a chance to respond. It's trying to work out, resolve it before it even gets public. You know, so it's kind of like a way of whitewashing the actual consumer review. At least that's the way that I understood it back in the day. Now, I haven't even tried to participate with the BBB ever since I realized that I thought it was more of a sham than anything else. In fact, I thought it was a consumer part of the consumer protection part of the government.
Right.
You know, I assumed
private.
But it's a privately held company. In fact, is it a .com? BBB?
It is.
Yes. It's not. So it's not a .org. So you know it's not a nonprofit organization. It's a for-profit entity that has nothing to do with consumer regulation.
So, do you guys think it's important for your business, whether it's your website or the front door or the window, to have that little BBB sticker?
I think it's just one more tool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it can hurt.
It's not going to hurt to have it, but yeah, it's just one more tool to add to your repertoire.
Have you guys, including Gary, any of you, ever chosen to either do business or not do business with a company because of the BBB?
Yes.
Doug, you have?
Yeah, I mean, because it's like I said, it's just one more tool. So, you know, I always look at like all my reviews I have all across the gamut. So you name all those companies you're talking about, I have reviews on every single one of them. So if I'm going to choose a company, I'm going to look at all the reviews, you know. And so if you have a couple of negative reviews on different platforms, you look at those reviews and you know that's how you make your decision.
Those are my favorite type of consumers. Well, consumers that do the research, that have not just, you know, I really don't understand the consumer that hires someone, you know, based on like a home advisor type situation,
right,
where they're going to get 4 random contractors given to them. You know, that doesn't. I don't see how that appeals to any homeowner that spent so much money on their house.
Here, roll the dice. I'm going to give you 4.
Yeah, home advisor calls me probably once a month. They're like, hey, we have like 30 leads in your area. I'm like, sorry, I got business for 2 months. I don't need your help.
So, Gary, you're more of a consumer. Tell me.
Okay, well, Better Business Bureau, when I owned my powder coat shop, they were supposed to refer people that were in the Better Business Bureau to your shop. That's how it worked. And you paid for that. So when you called there and said, hey, I'm looking for a powder coat shop, they were supposed to refer those people to me.
Did that happen?
No.
Well, and that's the whole part of the BBB that's problematic. Right. You know, you when you think of it, I think most of us think it's a consumer protection organization. You know, and that's clearly not its purpose.
No, it's gone to the page.
It's a referral.
The second when you see bureau, you automatically think government.
Well, yeah, Lincoln Lending Bureau.
It's intentionally deceiving.
That is, and I don't like that. So talking about the online reputation, Ryan, I think you do have more experience than all of us when it comes to this online reputation and the amount of reviews.
He's definitely the king of it.
You are the king in this room right here. So talk to us about how many reviews does Tampa Bay Plumbers have? Let's start with that, roughly.
On Google, we have over 500, and so that's important. The number is important, but the ranking, your score is also, I think, equally important.
Okay.
You know,
you mean how many stars you have on average?
Right. So we have a 4.9 out of 5.
Okay.
And 500 over 500 reviews roughly. It depends on how you look at it, but like on Angie's List, we have over 1,000 reviews. You know, but it's
1,000 reviews.
Wow.
Yeah,
1,000 reviews.
We've been reviewed thousands of times.
That is a lot.
Thousands, but the Google reviews.
He has a lot more smaller. You know, you have a ton of repairs, so you probably do 20, 30 repairs a day.
We start our board every day with 50 jobs on it. We start.
So that's actually low if you think about it. If you do 50 jobs a day, you're doing 25,000 jobs.
A lot of them are repeat customers. You know, we do a lot of repeat business.
Yeah.
So you can't have the same customers reviewing you over and over and over.
We don't do that type of volume. You know, I mean,
Right.
we might do it, you know, because we do bigger roofs. So we'll do a roof. It takes us 2 weeks to do it. So we might do 2 roofs a week, and then maybe 15 and 20 repairs a week.
And I think that is relative, exactly relative to your type of business. For me, I mean, you know, we may close 20 to 40 something loans a month or something like that, and so that's all that I have the opportunity to get. Maybe 400 or 500 a year at most. How many do you think you have on Suncoast Roofing?
I mean, I look at all my reviews. I don't look at just Google, but I mean, Google, I think we have 20.
Okay.
You know, we're a 4.4 only because we had 2 1-stars of people that didn't even do business with us.
Well, I want to get into that, and if we don't have time in this segment, which I think we will, we're going to definitely get into that by the next, and that's about a bad review. Is a bad review a good thing or not?
Right there, if it's someone that wasn't a client, you can dispute those types of reviews.
Right, you can report them. Google they don't let you do that?
I tried.
Pretty sure.
I tried.
I mean, I know I have disputed it and got them taken down in the past.
Wow. Tell me how to do that, because I've tried that a couple
Brian
times.
Really with RKFX can help you with it.
Boom, there we go. Is that a shameless plug?
Who's more of an important client, a new client or a repeat client?
Wow.
Gosh, they're both so important. I mean,
what makes the repeat client better, in my opinion, is that it's a cheaper client. It's a client that you didn't have to pay for.
The cost of
and you've already established trust, which trust is the most important thing in any relationship. So
and you normally, I think, with all businesses, just like consumers, you expect if you go back somewhere, you expect whether it's better service or a better price or something like that. So the expectations are already there of you're going to do a good job. There might be some additional expectations. So the number of reviews, to me, I'm trying to put myself in the consumer hat real quick. I think about Amazon. That's where I think about reviews the most. Is I pick out a product on Amazon and I see that it's what I want. I read the descriptions and those questions first, and then I hit the reviews. And I know that if I see the same product or very similar product with 1,100 reviews, or I see the product with 15 reviews, I'm probably going to move towards the one with the 1,100.
Of course, all the time.
Absolutely.
Right. So that
even if it was 1 star lower.
Even if it was 1 star lower. Now, if it's a 3 compared to a 4, no, I don't know. Maybe, if it's a 4.5 compared to a 5, but
when you have more reviews, it's almost like you have a better idea of what's really going on with the product.
Right. And I, as a consumer, I feel the same way. Like when I'm looking at a hotel, like if I'm going to pull up hotels or resorts or something in Orlando, I'll look at the number of reviews and the rating, and then I'll kind of narrow it down just on that basis alone.
Right.
And then I'll look at the actual reviews, what people are actually saying. And I think that it's important to read the bad reviews a lot of times too, because especially in the case of like Suncoast Roofing, you know, if you read the bad reviews, you notice as a consumer, these should be flushed out. These are garbage reviews.
Now, I definitely respond. I try to definitely respond to those.
Always respond. Yeah.
So let's talk about the bad reviews. We got a couple minutes left. So everybody, I was told this by somebody one time that you are not necessarily legitimate in business unless you have at least one bad review.
That's a great point. You know, bad reviews legitimize your good ones.
Right.
That's what I always say. But with that being said, I always try never to get a bad one.
Sure.
And I fight the bad ones. I want to make the bad ones go away. And I don't fight them with Google. I fight them with the consumer. I try to make that consumer so happy with what you know, trying to take that negative and turning it into a positive, that many times those reviews will get changed. Or they, you know, they'll go back and follow up and put a post review comment on there.
So I had a customer one time tell me this, and this is where I first actually heard this. This is probably 3 or 4 years ago. I have 2 bad reviews that I know of. Okay, 2 that, and sometimes you don't see them, but I have 2 that I know of over the last probably about 5 years. This guy literally told me I was not going to do business with your company until I read a bad review about you. And then he said he went back and read all the other ones, went back to the bad one again, and realized this guy knows what he's doing. This person just had a bad, complicated experience, and he decided to do business with me. He said other than that, he would have considered me non-legitimate, because there's a lot of companies
Good point.
Don't let the bad reviews hit the internet.
You can actually pay people to give you reviews.
You can, and
services for that.
And that's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Guys, we got to take a break. We're coming into the last segment. Next week, we're going to have Colton Newborn from Coto on the show. Make sure you stay tuned. The next segment is our last one, and we're going to give the business tip of the week. I am going to give you no clues about what it is. Just stay tuned to the Business Happy Hour here on 1250 and 970. If you want to be on the show, call 877-897-TALK. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey, Tampa Bay, this is your friendly neighborhood Frank Coto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your home of the no-fee mortgage and the 4-minute application on 813mortgage.com. I have some really incredible news for you. Real estate investors of Tampa, listen up. We now have a no-income product with just 20% down and a 660 credit score. No income, no employment, investment loans. Buy as many homes as you want. Apply now, 813mortgage.com, your no-fee mortgage lender.
Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no-pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofingsolutions.com, where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first.
Hello, it's Ryan Pelky with TampaBay Plumbers, and I want to tell you about our drain cleaning services. We always include a video inspection with our drain cleaning service, and that's because it's the most important part of the job. Imagine going to the doctor and only being treated for your symptoms. Proper diagnostic will save you time and money when it comes to plumbing or just about anything else. We are the straightforward company and never bait and switch like our competitors make a living on. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER for all your drain cleaning needs.
John Katsimatidis, the personification of the American dream, who built a multi-billion-dollar business empire, talks with some of the nation's top newsmakers on the Cats Roundtable. From politics to pop culture, senators to media personalities, John Katsimatidis gets to the heart of what's really going on in politics, business, science, the world. Listen to the Cats Roundtable Sunday mornings at 9 on Tampa Bay's Impact Radio, 1250 WHNZ.
If your business is healthcare, you care about attracting the right customers. With 1 in 2 people looking to improve their health in the new year, now's the time to advertise. Getting healthy, feeling, and looking better are always at the top of the resolution list. Give your campaign a healthy start with iHeartRadio. We reach 93% of Americans, and 7 out of 10 people research your business after hearing your radio ad. Make it your resolution to grow your business with iHeart. Visit iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
Until using Credit Karma, Cynthia Eden only ever dreamed of hiking the Incan Trail to Machu Picchu. At age 8, she mastered the ancient art of Peruvian pan flute. In her 20s, she subsisted solely on maize and purple yam. And now, she refuses to travel by car, because in her words, that's what my alpaca's for. So when she learned that Credit Karma could help her find a credit card to earn travel rewards points, she finally made her Incan dream a reality. But on this trip, she went by plane. Her alpaca was relieved. Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
Dana Lash.
Freedom is you do what you want to do, someone else is going to do what they want to do, but the idea that of freedom that some of these individuals have is if someone else is doing something that I don't like, then that's not freedom, because they don't believe how I think they should believe, because they don't talk how I want them to talk, they don't use the pronouns that I want them to use, they don't recognize the things that I recognize. That's not freedom, that's oppression, that's tyranny, it's fascism.
The Dana Show.
Hear me weeknights 10 to midnight on 1250 WHNZ.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
Call now, 800-908-0586, 800-908-0586.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We are having a good time today. If you have missed 2/3 of our show, then you've missed a good one. We've been talking about reviews. We are three successful business owners, Frank Coto of 813 Mortgage and Lincoln Lending, Ryan Pelky of 813 Plumber and TampaBay Plumbers, and Doug Ford of Suncoast Roofing Solutions, 888-888-ROOF. We are here for you guys if you
Well, they can always go back to the podcast and catch it. So
That's right. I never mentioned the podcast also. Thank you, Doug. That's right. We do have a podcast. You can ask Alexa to play the Business Happy Hour on iHeartRadio. Play the Business Happy Hour podcast on iHeartRadio. You can watch or listen to us anytime you want. Big shout out to Rick Talseda. Rick has been a photographer and friend of ours with the show for many years. He's taken pictures of us and our guests for a long time. He recently did my 40th birthday and did a fantastic job. If you want to see the pictures, I'll send them to you to help out Rick. But the website, very easy, Rick. It is Rick, R-I-C-K, rickvisuals.com. rickvisuals.com or rickvisualsinc.com. Either one's going to work. rickvisuals.com. And if you'd like to call him directly, if you need a photographer right now, call 813-493-2489, 813-493-2489. Guys, we are three successful businessmen bringing you guys some successful business tips every Wednesday at 11 a.m. And in the last segment, we always do the business tip of the week. So we're going to get that in just a minute. But before that, we're going to finish up talking about reviews. The whole show has been about reviews. I started out by telling you guys that I reviewed my life. I turned 40 this last weekend, and I reviewed the last 20 years of my life internally. I gave myself a 4.6 stars. Not too bad.
Should be like Trump and just be like a 5.0.
I was going to go 6. Yeah, you're right. I really should.
A+++.
A+++. It's not even on the charts. I'm huge. But
99% approval rating.
99.9%. 999. But upon all this reflection and upon talking with the guys and running the show today, I realized something is that I looked back at the last 20 years, which was my professional career, and I've come to a realization here that, especially if you're in my position in business right now, the next 20, the next 30, they should be a lot easier. Think about the knowledge that I've gained in these 20 years. And that's what we're trying to do for the listeners, though, right now. We're trying to take you guys forward 20 years. Listen to us. Call in. Don't make mistakes that we made. All three of us started independently of each other. We probably made many of the same mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Many. But when you look forward to the next 20, it should be easier. Right,
I know
guys?
I do.
Yeah.
I know I feel that way 1,000,000%.
You feel that way, Doug?
I make mistakes every day.
Well, he hasn't fallen off a roof yet.
It's whether you learn from your mistakes is the question.
That's the key, and that's half of the reason we're doing the show for you guys. Remember, we don't get paid to do this show by any means. We take time out of our day, so in reality, this show costs us a lot of money to be out of our offices for 2-3 hours during the week every week. But we want to share these experiences with you, and we want to help you guys in business. So I had a couple things left before we get into the business tip. A big thing in my business, and I got to ask you guys if it's important, is when is the right time? When is the best time to ask for the review?
I'll tell you mine. You tell me from you. I'm being in the mortgage industry. In our business, you have the whole process from application to closing, but there's always a point when the file is what's called clear to close. That's what the realtors want to hear, the title company, us, the buyer. We explain to them what that is. What that means is everything we've asked them to do regarding underwriting, appraisal, title, all that garbage is done. They're cleared to close. And you have this window between the day they're cleared to close, and we hope it's a 3-day window. That's what you're supposed to have a little extra time. Sometimes it might be 3 hours, sometimes it might be a day or two. But you have this window from the time they're cleared and they don't have to do anything else before they get to the closing. To my business, to me, that's the most important time to ask. That's when we ask for the review. And I'll tell you why. It's because if we wait until the day of closing or the day after closing, think about it. If you ever bought a house, you have so much on your mind.
Yeah.
The signing those papers is the beginning. It's not the ending. That's when all you got to buy stuff. You got to fix this. You got to meet the movers. You got to
move in.
You got to
remodel.
You got kids. You're changing schools, electric, lights.
Great
utilities.
point.
Yeah, a million things. So I'll guarantee I'm not getting a review.
How do you position it?
How do I position it? Meaning
the question. How do you position? Would you mind giving us a review?
As soon as we're clear to, we have a meeting every Tuesday and Thursday. Anything that's been clear to close between that time frame or is about to be clear to close, I have a specific person, which was going to be my business tip. We got a better one now, but I have a specific person in charge of reviews, and they go to the person and they say, "Hey, we hope your service Lincoln Linear experience was great. We would appreciate it if you would provide a review for us." Now, what we do is we give them a link. We actually provide a link. I don't just say, "Go review me."
That's smart,
because like what you do as well is you want to focus on Google. So you want them to go and give you that Google review.
We hand them a Google card.
Oh, okay. You give them a Google card.
Yeah,
that's good.
It just directs them to the page where to go.
Sometimes it's like they're typing WHTTP blah 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 slash. It becomes a little more monotonous. Where if you just give them a link, I would think would be a little easier for people.
Yeah, it's definitely especially if it's done by email positively.
We do it by email. That's exactly what we do it. Yeah. Sometimes if I've had a real good experience with a customer personally, and I happen to be working with them personally, I'll text it to them. Yeah, I'll call them, tell them thank you, which I think you should do to most customers, and ask at that point, "Hey, can I send you a link?" Yeah, absolutely, because that's the good time to do it. Now, for your business, when do you do it, Ryan?
Well, it's right at the end of the job where a customer goes to give you a verbal compliment.
Mm-hmm.
We always flip it. Well, I would really appreciate that, but the best compliment you can give us is a review on Google. And if you're interested, here's how you do it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you ask them right at the end of the job,
right when if they give you a compliment, and they're thanking you for what you did.
What if they don't?
Yeah. Do you ever follow up?
Yeah. You're not going to encourage someone to give you a review if they're all upset. That's common sense.
Now, do you ever follow up on people? Say, "Hey, you never
I didn't get a review."
We didn't get a review.
Yeah. If you never follow up.
We try. It's funny. We go in cycles because I only have so much horsepower in my office.
Yeah.
And when all the phones are popping off all the time, you fall back on some of that stuff that you would normally do.
Because we have clients like, "Yeah, of course a review," and then of course their day gets away or their life gets in the way and they never get to it.
Oh, I
always wonder if it's appropriate for me to go back and ask them, "Hey, you said you're going to give that review, but you never did."
I think that when we slow down a little bit, our girls in the office never slow down. They're constantly on the phones. They're constantly generating work. So yeah, you're gonna do review solicitation. You're gonna be asking how the experience was. You're gonna be looking for all sorts of things.
So guys, as usual, my business tip gets pushed to the very last second of the day. We're gonna fix this, guys. The business tip of the week, I'm gonna throw it out real quick, is always respond to your negative reviews.
Always respond to all reviews.
All reviews. That's right.
Yeah, not just negative.
Not just negative.
And that's where we fail in that. TampaBay Plumbers at this point does not respond to all positive reviews, and we need to, for those that are listening.
So you see, we're not perfect. Frank, Doug, and Ryan, we are business owners. We're here for you guys every week, but we are not perfect. That's why we want to share these experiences with you.
I ask for people for the review when they see their shiny new roof.
That's a great point. The first day it doesn't rain on them. Guys, thanks for listening to the Business Happy Hour. Next week is Colton Newborn from Coto. Please do not miss it. He is the sharpest cat in town. We're going to be talking knives and fun on the Business Happy Hour next week.